Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm sure by now all of you are familiar with a lot of AI technologies out there, but is it really helpful for us programmers? Can they really generate working code or fix bugs? That's why in this video I decided to put the capabilities of OpenAI's ChatGPT to test and try to code 5 games in Java using only their chat. We'll start by trying to develop a simple console game and work our way up to harder games. Let's start by asking the chat to make us something easy and simple, like the HangMan Game. This is a single-player word guessing game in which a player tries to guess a word by suggesting letters. For each letter said that is not part of the word, a life is lost. If your lives end before you guess the word, you lose. If you guess the whole word and with lives remaining, you win. This is pretty entry-level programming game that usually most software graduates and students should be able to solve. There's also a lot of solutions online showing the code for this game, so I think ChatGPT will have no issues since it's a text-based AI that gets his information from books, articles, websites, datasets, and so on. Alright, so let's ask him and see what he returns to us. He replies that he's not able to send us the full code. However, he can create a basic version of the game. Let's now wait until he finishes and then we'll run the code. Alright, so ChatGPT just finished writing the code. Let me now open IntelliJ and let's see the result. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to give us a thumbs up. It would really help the channel. So far so good, there's no compiling errors and the game starts. This seems to be a pretty generic version of the game as expected. There's the blank word we are trying to guess. The try again works as well. When we use all our lives, the game ends, so that's good. And when we win, the game lets us know as well. Overall, I think the chat did a great job, however there could be some more features, so let's give it a 4 out of 5. Next up, let's ask him to implement us the TicTacToe game, still pretty easy and straightforward. At first you can see that he doesn't want to send us any code, just explains the game. But eventually he will obey, just keep asking. And look at this, seems like we're having some troubles. Unfortunately, that's pretty common as everyone nowadays is using it and the servers are probably overloaded.
3 hours later.
After some time, the chat seems to work again. I asked him the same thing and now it replied with no problems whatsoever. Let me now just copy paste the code to our project environment and let's test the game. And that's basically what we asked for. Pretty simple tic-tac-toe, runs fine, I guess. Unless we enter an invalid character which returns an exception. Overall, pretty good, nothing extraordinary. I'd say we give this one a pass as well. Nothing fancy, but the code runs. These games seem too easy for ChatGPT. We gotta try something harder. Let's try Minesweeper. While the code is being generated, let me know in the comments down below what is your take on ChatGPT and AI as a whole. Also, here's a little tip. If the chat suddenly stops generating the code like this, it's because it reached the maximum amount of characters. All you have to do is tell him to continue. Now that the code is done, let's copy paste it and see what we get. Immediately the program generates a board with dots and asks us for a row and column. Let me try 1 and 2. Okay, so then it prints other boards with the Minesweeper numbers. Let's try to land in the mine and end the game. And game over. I want to try something more fun and interactive now. There's this old school game called Pong. Let's try that one. Skipping forward, I pasted the code and let's run it. The game seems to work, however, the speed of the ball is too fast and I don't have time to move the blocks. Alright, so here's the ball speed variable. Let's change the value from 5 to 1. I'm impressed. Now the game runs smoothly and the mechanics work, so that's awesome. We could implement a lot more features though, like a score counter that adds a point every time the ball hits the block, or something like that. But to keep the video short, let's move on to the last and final game. For the last game, I decided to ask the chat to code the snake game. We'll see how it handles this task. Skipping forward, the chat finally finished and let's run it. It seems that the moving keys aren't working. Look, I press them and nothing happens, and I lose the game, basically. Let's give him another chance and tell about the error, and see what he comes up with. The AI made some changes, let's try it again. Yeah, it works. I mean, a little score count would help tremendously, but that's a no-brainer to code. I'm actually very impressed because I remember I asked 4 months ago to do the same game in Java and it wasn't able to do it. It was right around when ChatGPT was released. But now he returned to us some nice code. Congrats. I guess it's getting improvements and updates. Alright guys, that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoy this type of content and I'll see you in the next one.